The only thing better than this Prime is Optimus. I'm Jay, Steph's on vacation, and this is Modern Motoring. Welcome to your 2023 Toyota Prius Prime. Now, Steph and I did a really deep dive into the Prius about, I don't know, a few months ago when we had it. It was the yellow one, and we did a TikTok, little 60-second video, and almost 3 million views later. People generally love what Toyota has done with the new Prius slash Prius Prime, because it's pretty much the same vehicle except for the underpinnings, but there is a lot of public reaction. Again, most of it good. There were a few odd comments, but there was one weird one that said, this looks like a Lamborghini, and hey, sure. But let's do a quick look into the Prius Prime, and for those unfamiliar, anything with Prime in it in the Toyota lineup means plug-in hybrid. So let's go through some numbers, and then we'll do a perks, quirks, and irks style video. So we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 220 horsepower. Now Toyota unfortunately does not publish torque figures. I wish they would, but they say torque kicks in at different points in the band, so they'd rather not publish anything on torque. You know what, fine, whatever, I get it. Yes, I know it's got 220 horse, but I'm surprised at just how quick it is off the line, and I don't think you're gonna beat anybody in a race with it, but for a vehicle that is geared towards fuel consumption on the saving side, the Prime really has a lot of jump to it. On the battery side of things, we have a 13.6 kilowatt per hour battery, and this thing has up to 72 kilometers of electric range. That's that's remarkable, and depending on your lifestyle, you may really miss out on a lot of the gas rewards points. Now, depending on your lifestyle and what you do and what kind of driving habits you have, you could really just live on the electric side of things, plug in every night. Speaking of plugging in, if you go through a level 1 charger, it's around 11 hours, says Toyota, to go to 100% charge. Go to a level 2, and that comes down to around 4 hours. So I don't think anyone should be going out and getting a level 2 charger for this vehicle, but you do a level 1 drip charge, and I think you'll be in pretty good shape. Let's start with the perk side, and the number 1 perk for me is just how little fuel this uses. So if you have the SE trim, which is the base model, your combined fuel consumption is a measly 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Jump up to the XSE or the XSE Premium, which is a little heavier, mostly because of the wheels, and that figure goes up to a combined 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's still pretty impressive. Now, all 3 trims do get the same 40-liter fuel tank. Next up is the actual look of the vehicle. So for 2023, the all-new generation, it is 1 inch longer, it is 2 inches lower, and it's about 1 inch wider, so the aerodynamics are just remarkable. And you look at the vehicle and it's just so sleek, and you know, this is not quite hypercar world, but I haven't seen anything in the modern market for mainstream vehicles that has such a sharp windshield as far as the angle goes, and such a smooth back. Next one up for me is a fully buttonized, and yes, I know buttonized isn't the word, fine, it's a fully hard touch button HVAC system. And I don't want to be running around at 100 kilometers an hour going through a screen and trying to dig my way into changing the way the air gets directed or what the temperature is. Next up is the power, and I touched on it a little bit in the beginning. I'll touch on it just a little bit more. It's front wheel drive, and I'm pretty sure there's an all-wheel drive version coming. I'm going to say maybe 2025, 2026. And I say that because there is an all-wheel drive hybrid Toyota Corolla, so I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do this, especially on their new global platform. My last perk will be on standard safety. So every single 2023 Prius Prime gets Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, and that includes things like your lane departure alert, your automatic high beams, radar cruise control, and a few other things. On to the irks we go. So first up is the digital instrument cluster. The positive is that it's pushed way far back and it's fully digital for a vehicle at this price point, but the problem is it's really cluttered and there's a lot going on. So you have your eco / charge / power band at the top. You have your gas meter on the right side. You got your gear selector at the top right, and your speed in both miles and kilometers at the middle-ish top. Now, I've got a bunch of the safety things kept on, so my speed limit is in the bottom left, and all of my safety settings are little icons on the right side. So it's a little much, and I know, yes, you can do that cool thing that the not quite old school Lexuses had, but I guess some of the modern Lexuses had, where you push a button and the whole dial moves over. Next up, there's no back wiper, and I know the Ioniq 5 is getting one, and I'm pretty sure the EV6 will get one at some point soon. I think that the Prius Prime should have one. The top trim does get a digital rear view mirror, so that takes care of a little bit of it. Next up are the infotainment screen sizes. The base model SE gets the smaller 8-inch one. The XSE/XSE Premium gets the larger 12.3. Just make it the same across the board. I can't see a lot of people buying or purchasing or leasing the SE, especially since there's such a small difference between that and the XSE, which is the trim I have here. So it's a little bit of nickel and diming, I find, on that side. Just 12.3 inches all around. There's only 3 trims. Give the people what they want. This is a minor irk, and maybe irk in all lowercase letters. The power button is right next to the HVAC system, and it's a hand traffic area, and not quite a heavy one because it's your heated seats and your front window defogger, so you don't use it all that much, but I feel it's a little too close. Let's wrap up with the quirks. So first up are the door handles for the rear doors. They're pushed way up high. They're not on the actual painted body panel itself. It's a little peculiar, you know, it doesn't bother me. A little tough for kids to get in the vehicle because they can't quite reach it. Next up is the dual sunroof, and while I like it, I wish the front panel would open and get at least ventilation. I don't need it to fully retract, but it's a cool little idea, and one for the front, one for the rear for passengers. There's some cute little hashtags, and the wireless charging hashtag is where the wireless charging bay is. The hidden compartment is just beneath the front tray, and it's lifted up and it's there. And then it says Hybrid Reborn on the well where the windshield wipers end, also in the rear and the trunk. So kind of a cute little thing. And here's an interesting one. I haven't quite decided if I like it or not as a function I'd keep on. I like it in concept, and it's their predictive braking. So it's either an on or off switch. You don't have to live with it, but it monitors your habits, and as you're approaching a light or traffic or something, the car will slow down for you. Now, it's not gonna jolt you to a complete stop, but you'll feel it slow down. And yes, the brake lights go on, so you really reduce the risk of anyone colliding into you from behind. All right, we've done the perks, we've done the irks, we've done the quirks. Let's wrap up with pricing. So the SE on Toyota Canada's website says it's $41,364.50, and that's the MSRP, and that's the max dealer fees of $1,221, and that is also the freight and PDI, and I believe the air conditioning tax. So all you're adding is just your provincial sales tax there. You jump up to the XSE, which is what I have here, and probably which is the one that I would buy. That sounded funny. And it's probably the one that I would buy. That comes in at $46,204.50. It's not too big of a jump going from 41 to 46, so 5,000 bucks. I think it's worth it. Now, if you want everything the 2023 Prius Prime has to offer, jump into the XSE Premium. That puts you at the $50,000 mark, so $50,204.50 to be specific. Yeah, it's nice, it's cool. You get cooled seats, you have the premium JBL audio system, you get a few other things, but I think that the value for dollar will live in the XSE trim, which is what I have here. So I've got some cool red inserts, everything the Prius/Prius Prime has to offer naturally, and you get the dual sunroofs, and you get your heated seats, and you get 6 USB ports. Now, just as a quick reminder, on the fuel consumption side, the XSE and the XSE Premium get a combined 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers. The SE gets 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So it's not really all that much of a difference between 4.9 and 4.5. Again, I would pick the XSE. I like what it does. I like the value proposition here. And overall, the Prius Prime is a terrific vehicle. The only problem here is good luck finding one, because the wait list is really, really long, and I can see why. There's not a lot out there that gives you this much value at this low of fuel consumption. And polarizing looks. I will leave it at that, whether you like it or whether you don't. That's going to wrap it up. If you got any questions on the 2023 Prius Prime, let us know in the comments. We're always happy to hear from you, and feel free to join our social community. Actually, we'd love it if you joined. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and we're really big on TikTok, which is interesting. And you're watching this on YouTube, so if you could subscribe if you haven't already, that would be much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate the support, and we'll see you in the next video.